92 to 95 FM, 810 medium wave, and on digital radio. BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Good Morning Scotland. It's 24 minutes to 9 now. The Olympic diver Tom Daley has been hailed as brave and courageous after revealing that he's in a relationship with a man. The 19-year-old Olympic bronze medalist posted a video talking about his sexuality, saying he met someone this year and he couldn't be happier.
Well, come spring this year, my life changed massively when I met someone, and they make me feel so happy, so safe, and everything just feels great. And well, that someone is a guy. And it did take me by surprise a little bit. I mean, it was always in the back of my head that something like that could happen, but it wasn't until spring this year that something just clicked.
Well, as one of the first Olympic athletes to publicly come out, he's been hailed as a role model for youngsters and other sports people struggling with their sexuality. Let's speak now to Tom French, who's Policy Coordinator for Equality Network, the Scottish charity for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender people, and twice World Track Cycling gold medalist Graeme Obree, who came out in 2011. Morning to both of you.
Morning. Good morning.
Graeme Obree, let me ask you first of all whether you found it difficult being a sportsman and revealing your sexuality.
Well, what we have to remember here is the actual scale of the story is the story itself. The media interest is, in fact, the sword of Damocles hanging over you. So if you don't come out, then in the age of Twitter and Facebook, then you face that barrage of expose or whatever it is, the way people want to put that. And if you come out yourself and say, look, here's how it is, then you control the way that media is handled. Whereas if somebody goes on Facebook and says something that spreads widely, then you don't have any control over it.
Yeah, and did you find that difficult? I mean, is that something you sort of struggled with?
Well, it was a terrible resentment, the fact that because I've achieved the things that I did in cycling, then I don't have that right to privacy that other people would normally have.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose that the reason why we're talking about it, the reason why it's in across all the papers this morning is just simply because of the world of sport. It is a very rare thing, and I wonder just what your thoughts are about that. Whether you feel that world as such, that there is homophobia there.
Well, I haven't faced exceptional homophobia in the world of sport itself from sports people at all. But I can tell you I've definitely lost out in sponsorship by companies that are pressured by international companies. There's a lot of countries out there that would put pressure on companies to not sponsor gay people.
That's interesting. Tom French, as someone who campaigns for equality, what did you think of Tom Daley's video and the way he handled this?
Well, I think it's been a hugely positive thing. And if you look at all of the support he's received, support from celebrities like Stephen Fry and Kylie tweeting him, his fans across the world, and most importantly, his mum, who's been very supportive, and Tom's been tweeting about that. You know, I think this is a very positive thing for him. It'll enable him to live his life that bit more freely. And it's also a positive thing for people considering going into sport and young LGBT people across the country who will have this role model and someone they can look up to and think, you know, maybe sport is for me.
But it is a calculated risk there. I mean, as Graeme said, he feels that he certainly lost out when it came to sponsorship. So perhaps it is more, there's a wider impact beyond the actual world of sport. It's all of those things connected to it, and indeed the various ways in which sports people can make money.
Well, look, absolutely, there have been problems in the past, and I'm sure there will continue to be some problems. People like Matthew Mitcham as well, the Australian diver, have complained about a lack of ability to get sponsorship. But I think we're reaching something of a turning point. You know, you're getting more and more sports people, public figures being open about their sexual orientation, their relationships. And I think that's a good thing. And I think the tide is changing. I think more and more people are feeling that those barriers are no longer going to be there for them. And I mean, if you look at Tom, he's a hugely likeable figure. He's handled this very well. He's received hugely positive support. And I don't think he'll have any problems in getting sponsorship himself. So I think it's a very positive thing. Yeah,
so you think that he will still be an Olympic athlete who, happens to be in a relationship with a man, but he will be defined primarily by his diving career?
Absolutely. Tom is a very likeable Olympic champion. I think people will continue to back him. In fact, the only negative stuff that I've seen on Twitter or anywhere else has been about the news that awful programme Splash is being commissioned for a second series. But, most of the reaction has been hugely positive.
OK, and Graham, do you think it's that this is, particularly beneficial for other people maybe in struggling with the same thing? The fact that he is still, pretty young and still, with his career, with I'm sure, still a big future ahead of him.
Oh, when you think about this, a 19-year-old guy struggling in the goldfish bowl of media like that, tried to live his own life in a private way. In a lot of ways, doing this gets the media off his case and goes, there we are. From my own experience, is that hubbub goes on for a wee while and then it all dies down and then you're just a person again. And that will happen to Tom and he'll just get on with his life and there will become a time when a top sportsman will come out and it'll be a tiny wee column in page 5 saying, oh, by the way, when we reach that point, then actually being gay actually is perfectly acceptable and doesn't matter anymore. It's not that huge, oh, wow.
OK, thank you both very much indeed for speaking to us this morning. That was Graham Aubrey there, the twice World Track Cycling gold medalist. And we also heard from Tom French from Equality Network. It's coming up to 17 minutes tonight.